You know, I'm not proud of it, but for like maybe a millisecond in the beginning of this movie, I was like, Flash isn't gonna eat a baby, right? The Flash is a movie that has been talked about for a long time. This is my review of it. The Flash, very clearly for me, the first half of the movie, the second half of the movie, the first half of the movie, I feel like I'm not even sure what's going on. Maybe because we've never really spent that much time with Barry as a character. I don't really feel a connection with him. I've seen his dad in like one scene again, and they don't really show us that much to get us more invested in that relationship outside of like the one scene we saw in Justice League and the one scene we see in this movie. There's this like weird sequence in the beginning that's like, it's like really silly. I went back and forth being like, is this intentional? Like, do they know this is, because this doesn't really fit the tone of the rest of the movie. And it's just like one of those weird like situations of like, Flash, you gotta save some little babies who are orphans who are riding little baby puppies too. The puppies are orphans too. Everyone's an orphan. Is it intentional? Andy Muschietti, please comment below. Let me know. Do you think that every speedster movie just Quicksilver lives in their heads rent-free 100%? I guarantee you. Definitely Quicksilver is mentioned like in the writer's room probably more than Superman in this movie. Like, let's just be honest. The first half of the movie, honestly, I didn't really feel that invested in it. It felt like a lot of and then like other Barry's just like, oh yeah. Old Barry too, like young Barry, that guy's annoying as heck. I know he's supposed to be annoying, but I definitely feel like some of his moments were supposed to be a lot funnier genuinely than they were. I didn't find him that funny. I found him just to be kind of childish, and not in a enjoyable Gambino way, in like a, oh, this guy sucks, he's a middle schooler kind of way. And again, I understand he's supposed to be like that because like Barry, he's like, oh god, this guy, but it's like, yeah, I don't know, why would you want to annoy me with like the second main character in this movie? That's not very smart. I think when the movie finally starts to pick up is when we get to Michael Keaton's Batman, and I think Michael Keaton's great. Yeah, he might say a few silly lines and stuff like that, but it wasn't like horrible to me. He says oh, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I didn't really cringe there because I cringed before in the trailers, but he doesn't really have any other cringe-worthy lines, and he has some genuinely really cool moments. I think as far as directing Batman action, Andy Muschietti, my guy, dude went crazy. Like that sequence at the bottom of the silo, fantastic. That was like the highlight of this movie. I don't know why DC, like, universe Batman always has the best action, like the Ben Affleck scene and now this scene. I'm excited for him to direct the Flash movie. That was announced today too, if you didn't see. That was sick. I like the stuff with Superwoman, Supergirl. I like all the stuff with her too, and with General Zod. Michael Shannon, bringing him back is a cheat code. He's the best villain in the DCEU, if we're being honest with ourselves. But that kind of brings me to one of my biggest complaints with this movie, is that I don't think they used the nostalgia as well as a film like No Way Home, because No Way Home, these characters were brought in to complement Tom Holland's Spider-Man's journey a lot more. This movie, it just made me wish I was watching other movies. Like the best parts of this movie to me is when I was going, man, I really want to watch Michael Keaton's Batman, or man, oh man, Man of Steel's so cool. I really wish I was watching Henry Cavill's Superman fight General Zod right now. That'd be sick. I think as far as hitting a emotional and satisfying arc, Barry does eventually get there to where I actually did like his ending. It raises a ton of questions, but again, it's just a weird point in the DC universe because it's kind of like the end, but it's like not really. Honestly, it kind of just keeps taking me back to Henry Cavill because it's just sad that, you know, we get to say bye to Barry in this movie and we get to say bye to Wonder Woman. Like every movie, she keeps making cameos. We get to say goodbye to Ben Affleck's Batman this movie, and the guy that started the whole thing, Henry Cavill, we'll never see him again. I think the music was cool. There are some really cool shots by Andy Muschietti. Andy Muschietti is a great director. I loved him in it, and I think he does a solid job here. There are some really highs when it comes to his directing, and I like the ending we get for Barry although it's a little messy sometimes getting there, especially in the last like 10-15 minutes of the movie. I'm content with where we got it. I thought it was cool. I felt a lot more connected to Barry at the end of this movie as I did at the beginning, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Alas, there's my review of The Flash. Here's where I would put it on my tier list for movies this year. Thanks for watching. Hear more reviews.